places, most of us are alone. Alone with our thoughts, our feelings. But this is just a poem about being alone that I think we all can relate to. Amongst the people I stand here, alone inside I must bear, elevated in consciousness, so I care, show the people what's behind their fear. Come down to earth is what they tell me, but they can't see that knowledge of self is the key. It sets me apart from humanity to overstand my destiny. Is all that knowledge what makes me alone? Changing my low physical to a high mental home? On the never-ending path I roam to bring down creations from my spiritual zone. But my thinking must change as wisdom is obtained. And it's how I hang and rise myself into higher planes. Lost alone in no space and time. But if I continue to climb, no answer I can't find. I shine, 'cause inside me is the divine. Energy for understanding builds my mind. How can I be alone? From one consciousness we're all sewn like musical tones. There's no true happiness unless there's peace. By uniting, we can cause violence to cease. I do my best to further the divine plan. I use facts to give my people a helping hand. But ignorance runs rapid throughout the land. So I shine down light so darkness can't expand. But the races are divided like grains of sand. The blind mock what they can't understand.
People,
I feel like
we have another Car Talk Sunday edition. It's 2:02. If you ain't here, you need to get here. Because today we going to go over some real stuff. So a lot of times when I talk spirit, and people always want to know, well, how do you tap in? How do you know when you're tapped in? What are the things you got to do? And we always talk about being in a trance mode, trance, meditation, contemplation, prayer, all of that stuff. So today we're going to go over the breathing and how we're supposed to breathe and what meditation is. And that's going to be coming from your Metu Neter. Oh my gosh, guys, listen, if you didn't ever hear me, this is your manual to the meat suit. This is your guide on how the physical body works. All right. The thinking part, everything, how it works and how it's supposed to work and how you use thought and power to affect your physical body, the meat suit. But we're going to go over that. That's going to be the breath control. And of course, we're back at that book again. That book of knowledge, Keys of Enoch. We're moving on to key 7 and 8 today. We've been over the rapid expansion, I should say, of how the universe is, how huge it is and big it is. I gave you the Urantia book last week when the Urantia book was just talking about the center of the universe and getting out to where we're at, not starting on the earth. So we get that closed-minded view. We'll have some guests coming soon. Like, we like to get into some deep stuff. I mean, it ain't for everybody, but, this is that fire that you just can't get anywhere else. No one's talking about the book of knowledge. Nobody trying to break it down to let us know what's up. So, that's what we doing right now. All right. So before I even get started, I do want to thank all the people that's been listening to us all this time. We got Miss Visa just came on. That's been, partaking in what we're trying to do, trying to bring forth the realm of knowing. There's no reason none of us shouldn't know everything we want to know. And a lot of stuff is in these sacred books and other books of the Bible. Because, like I said, there's over 243 different books. They just chose whatever they wanted to choose for their Bible. And, you know, the Hebrew Bible got more scriptures in it, but that's all a different story. But we got Miss Visa. She's coming in. She just wanted to tap in real quick. We're probably waiting on Jazzy.
Hey,
And-
Metu, I'm traveling, so that's why my camera off. I got the family in the car, and the car's piled up. So.
Oh, that's not a problem. I'm glad you can make it.
Okay.
We're going to bless your journey. Make sure it's safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm here.
Yes. All right. All right. So, look, you already know. You just chime in when you need to chime in.
Okay.
All right. So, I was just telling them, Miss Visa, that we're going to go over the whole breathing stuff. That's in the Metu Neter.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so do you want to go over the breathing stuff first, or do you want to get right back into the book of knowledge, Enoch's keys?
Now we can do the breathing.
All right. So, breath control. What is it, and why is it so important? Once again, Metu Neter, the guide, the oracle to Tahuti, the Egyptian system of spiritual cultivation by who? Ra Amun Nefu Amon. All right. So when we're talking about breath, I need us to get a clear understanding of what breathing is. You can go without eating for a while. You can go without drinking water for a while. But if you stop breathing, you're going to die pretty quickly. So it's letting you know how much power is in the breath. So what we're going to do today is we're going to show you how using your breath. It's in my book, Overstanding Darkness, Breath Control. I go over the wavelengths. I go over how 18 breaths per minute, which is the breath of the beast, because it allows you to be emotionally influenced. And as we break down from 18 to 9 to 6 to 4 to 3 to 1, it's a whole different shift in conscious enlightenment. And what you see, how it comes down, how it's shaped to you, for you, by you. All right. Metu Neter. So, first, starting off, meditation is the science of you manipulating our focus of consciousness, which we call our will, the willpower. Through meditation, we're able to internalize it or externalize it at will, focus on it or unfocus it, relax it at will also. Ritual deals with the science of manipulating the Ra, the life force, the so-called subconscious. So when they talk about Ra, they talk about that energy that flows within our blood, that makes us alive, that leaves us when we die and we don't get to have that glow in our eyes anymore. You can tell that person's gone. That's the life force, right? The life force becomes enhanced. That's when you can activate the Kundalini. That's another energy that's in us. All right, we're going to keep going because this will be quick. So we must begin to remove certain major popular misconceptions and misconceptions regarding the states of consciousness before we can fully understand the mechanism of meditation. The greatest impediment to understanding meditation and spiritual practices has been the popular division of consciousness into a waking consciousness and a sleeping consciousness, to identify what normally we call waking state and being asleep, respectively. So he's saying the damage is done because most of us think we're either awake or we're asleep. There's nothing in between, but there is something in between, and we're going to go over that. Let's keep going. Keep in mind the following substitutions. You will establish the sound foundation for understanding meditation and the ritualistic procedures. The state that we normally call being awake is when we are aware of our external environment. This is a modality of the extroverted state of consciousness. So when we're focused on what's outside of us, this is part of the extroverted state of consciousness, extroverted state of consciousness, meaning everything's focused on the outside. What we normally call asleep. It is a modality of the introverted state of consciousness, when everything is on the inside. We ain't focusing on nothing on the outside. Everything's on the inside. We're dreaming, we're meditating, we're seeing stuff. All right. The gist of the problem resides in the popular misconception of the objective reality behind the words waking and sleeping. Although most people swear that they understand the reality behind them is accurate. So I'm going to show you this picture so everybody can see. It shows there's two different states: extroverted, introverted. Okay, introvert is when you go on the inside. What is that? That means you're focused and awake, active. Then you can be focused and awake, but relaxed. Then you can be focused and asleep. These are all different. These are all different parts of the intro you. And then the same thing with the extroverted. So it's showing you three different parts of being awake and three different parts of being asleep. This is key. So our conscious has two fundamental modes with three sets yielding six modalities. First, introverted, focused and awake and active. That means that you're inside, you're focused all your energy on the inner you, and you're awake and actively focusing, meaning you're dreaming this, you're moving, using words of power, you're using colors, you're doing it. Then you have focused and awake, relaxed, meaning you're more relaxed now. You're letting the spirit kind of get in there and take over. Then you have focused to sleep when you're unconscious. That's on the inner you. Now on the outer you have the same thing. You have when you're focused totally in, you're working, you're doing totally what you need to do. But then you have sometimes when you're awake and you're relaxed. That's like when you're daydreaming or you're on automatic pilot. Even though you're functioning in the world, you're on automatic. Then you have extroverted, being asleep, that you're totally not conscious to what's going on in the outside world. So what is normally called sleeping is the unfocused introverted state. The introverted state of consciousness is the cause of detachment from the environment, and the unfocusing is caused from the undirected stream of imagery, what we call dreaming, and the unconscious experience during the non-REM sleep, during the non-REM period of sleep. Being awake, focused, active, extroverted state within minor periods of daydreaming, meaning we're normally awake, but every now and then we'll go off into a daydream. That's normal for everyone. This adds up to about 18% of our mental states. When we add up the other three states, we see that most people are only using about 35% of their potential of their states of consciousness. The remaining 65% corresponds to the states of trance, which means the accessing the unused portion of the brain, 80% or so, which people don't use. This is why they don't want us to know how to contact the spirit, how to break this down. What it actually does is it energizes the inner you, just like food would do it, but it's energizing the inner you. Ms. Visa, any question?
No, I'm just listening.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
We're going to get deeper in case you have a question. Okay, when we can introvert our focus of attention so that we detach our consciousness from our environment, body, and yet remain awake and mentally active. The will is in a state, the will in this state still active, sanctioning and directing thought association. We have an introvert of focus of attention so that we can detach our consciousness from the environment and the body, yet remain awake, meaning the will is focused. Mentally passive, the will is relaxed. So you have when the will is focused, when you go into a meditation and you're using colors, you're using words of power, you're using symbols, you're focused not on what's outside, but what's on the inner you with this symbol, with this, oh, there go Jazzy. With this symbol, you're focused on the inner you, focused on what Mayat is, and seeing Mayat, and giving Mayat colors. What's good, Jazzy Fizzle?
What's up, bro? Trying to get set here.
Uh-oh. Looks like he's in and out. Oh, there he goes. Oh, you good? You good? We're going over it, man. You done missed the beginning of the breathing, but we gonna keep going. Hold on. So
Okay.
we can introvert our focus of attention so that we can detach our consciousness from the environment and the body, yet remain awake. This is will. The will is being focused, but passive, mentally passive, the will is relaxed. In this state, the life force is freed to throw up all associated thoughts, spiritual agencies, deities, ancestors that are able to enlighten the meditator. We are here dreaming yet awake. This is the power. I'll say it again. We are here dreaming yet awake. And unlike the dreaming, the height of the medialistic trance, we are able to clearly remember everything that transpired during the trance. Miss Visa.
Peace, Miss Visa.
Oh, she there. She driving. Jazzy, did you hear
Okay.
what I'm talking? Did you hear what I just said?
No. I
And
was
all
trying
this
to
is
get.
coming from the Metu Neter.
Okay.
This is what I'm reading from. This is page 382 of the Metu Neter. All right. Look, I just told him this is a guide to the meat soup. How you control
Okay.
it, how you bring it under your subjugation. All right.
Okay.
The meat soup. So I'm gonna keep going. But I just want to make sure that everyone heard. So in this state, so I'm going to go back. We can introvert our focus of attention so we can detach our consciousness from the environment and the body and yet remain awake. That's our will being focused. But mentally passive is when our will is relaxed. When our will is mentally passive, meaning we're there, we're focused, but we're not focusing hard on anything. We're kind of letting the spirit work. In this state, the life force is freed up. That's that Ra that they were talking about, to throw up all associated thoughts, spiritual agencies, deities, ancestors that are able to enlighten the meditator. Here we are in a dreaming. We are dreaming yet awake. We are unlike a dreaming, sleep dreaming, the height of the medialistic trance. We are able to clearly remember everything that transpired during the trance. The inversion of consciousness is both an above states reduces the receptivity to distractions from the environment on the left side of the.
You're breaking up, bro. You froze. Can't hear you. There
Oh,
you go.
they tried to take us out, y'all. They tried to take us out, y'all. They don't want us.
Did y'all
They
hear
don't
me?
want me spilling the secrets. I'm spilling them. I'm giving you everything you need right now, and it's breath control. Go ahead, Ms. Visa.
I said, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay. I said, what's up, Jazz? When he was off, but you didn't hear me.
Oh, okay. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
I missed a lot. I'm quite sure.
Hey, y'all. All right, we back. All right, so listen, the inversion of consciousness in both of the above states reduces the receptivity to distractions from hold on from the environment to the left side of the brain. Thus we can concentrate and avoid hesitating to change our behavior patterns that stream from the lower facility of the left side of the brain. So it's telling you about the left side and the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is going to facilitate higher spiritual activity. The left side of the brain is lower spiritual activity. Left side of the brain deals with separation, separating, naming, division. The right side of the brain is more artistic, building together, unity, being one. When we are extroverted, thus communicating with the environment in the body, but with our will in a passive state. Uh-oh. Hold on, I don't know why I keep doing that. In the will in a passive state, we fall into a mutualistic trance. A person walks around, dances, talks, but all the activities are guided either by the raw life force, the subconscious, or by the will of another deity, spiritual, deity, hypnosis. This state is properly known as one as possession or obsession, according to the directing agency. It is possession when the direction is coming from a deity or an ancestor. It is obsession when the direction is coming from a highly charged passion. So remember when I was telling you when you can see your daughter graduating, you can see her doing something great, and you get that charge. Now, it could also go for something negative you can still use it for. It don't really matter. It's just you need that energy to propel that highly charged passion, which will awaken the force in you to help you to go to a higher place mentally. What you think, Jazz?
I'm just observing. I'm trying to catch up
You got
still. Yeah, I got it.
Info. So when you want your car to turn left, you do not exit the car and turn the wheels to the left just because you are directly involved in the turning of the car. No, you know that the wheels are indirectly controlled by the steering wheel. This is the same way of control of the mental activities and emotion. The main switch is not located in the mind, but in the body. We must first understand the scope of the activity allocated to the will. It is like the banks of a river. While it can direct the flow, the will of water, your subconscious, your inner energy, your power, it cannot stop it from flowing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
We understand the scope of the mind and the body. We must understand the scope is the activity allocated to the will. It is like the banks of a river. While it can direct the flow of water, it cannot stop it flowing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's trying to give you a relationship on how you're going to do this. When you affect your breathing, you affect how the conscious flows into you. You affect, are you going to be more introverted going on the inside of you by the way you're breathing, or are you going to be more affected on the outside of you? What do they tell you when you become emotionally overwhelmed? What happens? You panic.
Mm-hmm.
You start breathing erratically. You hyperventilate. What is it doing? It's controlling the state of consciousness that you're involved in. You're going deeper into the physical collapse of the fear that you're in, that you're going to hyperventilate. And what are you going to do? You're going to pass out. Same thing with the spirit. You have to breathe at a certain rate, allow yourself to be active, yet passive. It's a way to do it. Let's keep going. Most people are under the misconception that our thoughts can be controlled through mental effort. If you tried, you would discover that thoughts come and go independently of will. Even when we attempt to focus our attention on one object, one line of thought, it isn't long before we notice that our awareness of self and what we are concentrating upon is returning to us. You realize that without realizing it was happening. Your attention drifts off into something else, which you may or may not be able to recall. You rededicate yourself to the task to only find the same thing happens all over and over again. So we're trying to concentrate on one thing, but other shit keeps coming in. Again and again. This keeps happening again and again. And if you are attempting this exercise because you received instructions from one of the 100 books on meditation, which directs you to choose X object or subject to concentrate upon it, and you'll be told that if your attention wanders back, keep fixated. It wouldn't be long before you gave up and declared yourself a failure at meditation and a weak-willed person who is incapable of concentrating. So basically what it's trying to tell you, there's a science to this. Mm-hmm. Most meditation people tell you is to focus on one little thing and and that's that. No, I'm gonna keep going. The first thing about self meditation that you must know is that thought control is under the dominion of the will. Its function is to direct how thoughts come together for making meaningful units of conformity to logical principles, facts, and truth. The misconception that the will is in charge of controlling the coming and going of thoughts is so easily to form, given the fact it is directing it is directly involved with them. So it's what it's saying is just like the banks of the river. It can direct your thought, but it can't stop you from thinking.
Mhm.
All right, it's gonna clear up. So, the misconception is that the will is in charge of controlling the coming and going of thoughts, and it is easy because easy to form given the fact that it's directly involved with them. This is like believing the wheels of the car must be directly turned instead of using the steering wheel. All right. But the fact which has been known and verified for thousands of years is that the manifestation of thoughts, as well as sensations, emotions, are under control through the manipulation of the diaphragmatic muscles, breath control. All right.
Mhm.
This is a set of muscles located in the lower abdominal, an inch below the navel. This location is called the tenum of Chinese tradition. In the Japanese, it's called the Zen tradition. In the hara of the Japanese martial arts, it's called the guts, from where you derive physical and moral strength. It's what we do automatically if we're about to get hit or punched. Boom. A fraction of a second, we summon strength. The summoning of strength and the thinking are not compatible with each other. What we were talking about before, Jazzy, knowing and thinking, not compatible.
Mhm.
The summoning of strength would be us knowing.
Mhm.
Don't think about it, know it. Let me keep going. We've already experienced, but may not have noticed that thought and emotional restraining power of its center. At moments we are bracing ourselves to withstand a blow, intense cold, or some painful event, we tighten this area. We instinctively summon strength from this area. What most people fail to notice at such moments, thought activity stops completely. I can prove it to you. Put the book down right now. Take a deep breath. Push on the outer lower abdominal and tighten it while holding the breath, ignoring all thoughts that tend to rise. Hold your breath as long as you can and just stare straight ahead. The instruction goes, ignore all thoughts that tend to rise for the initial period of the exercise before forcibly blowing it out. The outward, it will be wiped out. The outward will be wiped of all thoughts on its own. The holding of the breath, the counting to 10 negates emotions as based on the same principle. Just like people fail to tighten their lower abdominal and might draw in the upper chest and hold the breath with catastrophic effects that are vanished by emotions. They have heard a person speak of their courageous acts in critical moments. What he's trying to say is, when I do my restraint breathing, that's what I do. But I'm not summoning strength for anything. I'm just re-energizing the system.
I'm gonna have to
Through the
try
way of
this.
summoning strength, raising the Ra, activating my Kundalini, healing everything that's in me.
Mhm.
If I was sick, healing it up, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
All right. Does it make sense, Jazzy?
Makes sense. I'm gonna
So
try
the
it.
holding of the breath, the counting of 10 negates emotions is based on the same principle because you have to tighten. It's like, so you do a pot belly, you breathe in. Most of us don't realize breath control is so important because you must breathe in through the nose. The nose have nose fibers, and those hairs actually clean the air. And there's property in the nose, so pure oxygen can go to the brain directly. All right, so a whole lot of things is when you breathe from the mouth, they call it mouth breathing. That's a shallow breath. You're susceptible to emotional control. All right. So whenever you see people breathing from the chest, Remember, in my book, Overstanding Darkness, at the back, it talks about we have 4 lungs, 2 upper, 2 lower. If you breathe just in the chest, your lower lungs aren't getting the oxygen. If that's the case, oxygen is air. Air is energy. You're not getting all the energy to be as vibrant as you can be.
So
Just life and
you said
fulfill it. Go
breathing
ahead.
in pot belly, right?
So you breathe in
Okay.
and you push your stomach out to the very farthest it can be. Then you hold it. Then you squeeze like you're trying to hold back your pee and your lower abdominal muscles. And when you breathe out, you'll feel the breath is even heated because you're restraining the energy from it. Every restraint breath is you oxygenating your body.
They say babies breathe the correct way when we get adults. That right.
Even if you throw them in water, they swim automatically. Hold their breath and start swimming. These are internal automatic things that take place once you know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so important for me to keep my meditation up. That's almost a rehealing of the body every night, every day. Keeps me young, keeps my hair from turning gray, keeps my skin from blotching, keeps the energy vortex in me moving at a high rate.
Recentering.
But I got to be careful because what it'll do is it'll raise my blood pressure. And if I ever went to the hospital, I better know a technique of lowering my blood pressure back down or I might not make it out that bitch. Real talk. They'll say I got hypertension in my shit, but it ain't because of my physical body. It's because of the spiritual energy that I'm allowing to run through my body, if it makes sense. And it's only because I do the techniques through breathing. So, oh, shoot. Where are we at?
So what about people that have hypertension, high blood pressure already?
It's all about, once they learn how to breathe correctly, of course, stay away from salt, sugar, refined, of course, do the basics that you can do. But the breathing is key.
No.
All right. If you ever played an instrument, a voice.
A wind instrument. A wind instrument. No, I was going to say the part about where you said that if you go to the hospital, by you doing that technique, it raised your blood pressure. What about people that already have high blood pressure and if they would
Well, see, the first thing of the spirit is it goes through healing. It's not going to give you something that you can't handle. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to do that to you. That's ridiculous. Unless you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. Now, I always knew I ran at a higher rate than everybody else, even before. Even when I was young, my blood pressure was always higher than everybody else's. I have a heart murmur. It's benign, but I had to go, through physical tests and things of that nature to play sports. And I ran track and played basketball and played football. I mean,
and went to the
military. You know
what
I'm saying?
Boot camp.
And went to the military and came back good. So, but if I go to the hospital only because of the standards that they got, they put me on what they call lowering my blood pressure. But what it's actually doing is it's turning down my spiritual amplitude, meaning how much spirit can I actually actually go through. Me can go through me so I can function the way I function. That's why I always have energy. I'm always energetic. I live to eat, not eat to live. You see what I'm saying? It changes the way you see things because once you can go on the inner you has the future and the past. It has everything. Anything you want to know is on the inner you, like a projection. All right, so real quick to finish this up. So, dang, I done lost where we was at. Let me see.
It's so important that people understand that part about eat to live instead of live to eat.
Mental.
Yes, sir.
My
ma'am.
son Dathan is here. He got a question about what you just said.
Go for it.
How do you know which one is the future and the past? How do you know the energy?
How do you know which what? The visions that you see?
Yeah, which one is you from the future or the past?
Good question.
They should have a feel about them. That would be more something that you would have to look at the environment, see what's around you. You know, they'll be he got off, but they'll be dated. You'll see something like, wait a minute, I ain't lived in this house in forever. Or I ain't seen this in forever. And it'll kind of help you know that it's from the past. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
But it's a feel. It ain't nothing that's gonna be like, yes, I'm from 1902. No, it ain't gonna be like that. Everything is symbols and your interpretation, but it's going off what you know.
Okay.
Go ahead. My bad if I cut you off. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, no, I said it makes sense.
No, ask another one if you need further clarity. That's what I'm here for, especially for the unseen. Say it again.
I said, now you cleared it up.
Oh, we going in and out a little bit.
You said you cleared it up.
All right. So,
It's you, Mental, that's going in and out. It's you.
Oh, I'm going in and out. Oh, okay. My bad.
So
basically, this question. Go ahead, Jazzy.
When it seems like you'll be in a land of familiar if it's in the past. You'll recognize things that are new become strange. It would seem strange because the past would seem more familiar, you know. But when you're going into new territory, it's untouched. It's, you know, you don't know that you've been there actually.
Right. It'll be something like you're in a car that you had 10 years ago. You're in a spot, you got something that you know you ain't had. So it's reminding you, but it's not going to be like, you know, this is where you're from, but it's going to give you hints if you pay attention to what's going on in the dream, if it's vivid enough for you. And all you got to do is, if you want to go back to it, you start your breathing regimen. You do the pot belly breath, punch it out, punch it in, hold it. You just breathe in a nice deep breath, and everything is in fours. Breathe in 4, hold 4, expel 4. Breathe in 4, hold 4, expel 4. Breathe in 4. And what it's going to do is it's going to put you on a rhythmic cycle. And when you do that, if you breathe through your stomach, pot belly stomach, and every time you breathe out, you squeeze that, like you got to take a pace, you squeeze that nerve. I can't remember the name of the nerve. The neogastric nerve that's right below the belly button, and those muscles, and you'll be able to feel how every time you do it, the air that you expel gets hotter.
That's why I was just going to say it's going to be hot breath at that point.
Hot breath. But it's hot breath because you're pulling energy out of the air and you're retaining it. It's called making your body an oxygenated environment. Disease, illness cannot function in an oxidated environment. That's why if I ever get sick, I know how to get rid of the sickness. I don't care what it is. It can't function in harmony and balance. It can't. So what do? I pump harmony and balance into myself through visualizations, through symbols, through colors, through just meditating, relax, letting the spirit work. We should never have to go to the hospital for anything. Healing ourselves should be the easiest thing we can do. I just ordered, if it happened, you should say that. I just ordered these tuning these tuning forks where it vibrates right into you. Oh, I can't wait to experiment with these sounds. So I can, and in here, it goes over the sound.
What frequency and like
what
A, B, C, D.
Is what? What's a healing frequency? How do you do it? I'm telling you, this is the meat suit manual. Metu Neter. Breath control. Vital. So I'm gonna keep going real quick.
I got the bowl. I got the bowl, the singing bowl.
Oh, with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me go over. So
go ahead.
Tension of diaphragmatic breathing. That's what it's called. The tension of diaphragmatic breathing. Tension of diaphragmatic breathing is the key to concentrating your attention and summoning strength, spiritual, mental, or physical. The essence of this form of breathing is the handling of the out breath. Just before you breathe out, the lower abdominal must be in a state of expansion, pot belly. As we breathe out, we pull in the abdominal without releasing the tension. As a result, the restraint exhalation in which the lower abdominal is constricted, so your whole thing is tight, like you about to get hit. This is called a pranayama. The restrained breathing of the exhalation is a fashion that slows the breath down to the point of stopping it from time to time. If you start doing this, the storage that occurs when the exhalation is being restrained is a manner of what the kumbhaka is in yogic tradition. Consciousness should be emptied of all thoughts through this kumbhaka. The perfect Raja yoga state is the attainment of practicing in this manner. What's that? You heard me?
Yeah.
Okay.
You was breaking up, but I came back in.
Okay, when meditation is conducted in this mode of breathing, eventually the restraining of the breath changes over from the will to automatic activity as the meditator enters into a state of trance. This is key. You'll know you're in the trance. You'll know you're there. All you got to do is focus on what you need. See yourself achieving what you're achieving. See yourself doing what you say you want to do. Being that, if you want to be a lawyer, seeing yourself being in court, being a lawyer. All this stuff activates the inner you to be like, oh, okay, let's pave the way for what he or she wants. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, the understanding.
Question.
Go ahead.
Not football.
Is there like a certain type of breathing where you could breathe? Because I play football, I play wide receiver. So, is there a better like breathing method to that?
Believe it or not, if you play football, you already automatically breathe through your nose when you start running and playing football. You automatically summon the strength before you hit someone or get hit. You're doing it already. The difference is when you focus the energy consciously, now this should open you up to see the play before it happens, see the hit before it happens, make a shake because you don't see them out your peripheral. You shaking the other way. This stuff is when you realm into that realm of what do they call it? When you're in the zone. You could put yourself in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing with knowing self, knowing who you are. You got to remember, no matter how great you are at football, basketball, tech science, being a teacher, being a electronic NASA scientist, none of that really matters.
If you can't control your breathing,
is knowledge of who you are and what you are. Everything else is a side effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's probably tough to hear. Everything else is a side effect.
Can you read the comments?
Yes. One just said Ashe, and Miss Nefutari just said, peace, people. What's up? What's up?
Oh, okay, Miss Aisa. Peace.
Peace. All right. So we're going over the breathing. So yoga seeks to carry out all activities in or through a state of trance as it is the perfect vehicle. All difficult postures become easy and are then entered into automatically and simultaneously when the practitioner attains this state of trance. So what it's saying is once your energy starts hitting with this pop belly, this tension, diaphragmic breathing, it starts to align the energies in you. So now you ain't bent over in 10 years and all of a sudden you can bend with no problem. Because the energy's in there. Remember, we're talking at a subcell level. Protons, neutrons in the blood. We're energizing the cells themselves with energy, with air, because you're breathing a certain way. All right. And the breath retention is no different. The breath is manipulated in such a manner as to induce a state of trance in which will cultivate the procedure of breathing will continue without the direction of the will. And once the trance is established, there is power that comes into this being. The same is true for working with the words of power, the mantras. When you start to know the words of power, uttering an everyday externalized state of consciousness does nothing. So when you're doing your mantras, your power words, your power thoughts, if you just do it in regular consciousness, it's not going to do anything. But in trance, the power comes to manifest. The experience of hypnosis is the same. Merely suggestions of which have no effect on the individual has the power in trance to remove pain to the extent that open heart surgery can be conducted without anesthesia. To summary, we must fully understand by the proper restraining of breath during the exhalation, breathing out, trance, our objective meditation is obtained. It's obtained through the spirit. Because now you done put on your higher self, hey, this is what I want to do, this is what I need to do. Shit's going to start changing. Trust in the spirit by the spirit. When this form of breath is restrained and continued automatically, now directed by the spirit and not the will, we call this the power of the spirit to achieve full of being awakened. That's when you're fully awakened. That would be your Zen state. That would be your Buddha state, your Christ state, when everything is just boom, you open. Like, oh shit, you done cracked over to the next realm. All right. So applying the lower tension and abdominal, pressing against the pneumogastric nerve, that's right underneath your belly button. Applying the tension to the lower abdominal, pot belly, presses against the pneumogastric nerve, which is the main nerve of the parasympathetic division of the nervous system, stimulating it thus to higher activity. As its activity inhibits that of the sympathetic part of the nervous of the sympathetic division of the nervous system, which is in charge of externating consciousness and preparing us for external action. Consciousness is thus withdrawn into the inner plane. So what is it doing? It's stimulating our parasympathetic part of our nervous system, what gets us ready for internal flight, going inside of us. It's activating the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the hippocampus to higher activity. All right. All right. In addition, the stimulation to the pneumogastric nerve sends nervous impulses to the wakeful center of the postural hypothalamic regions of the brain, which in turn excites the cerebral cortexes, contributing thus to the increased activity of these higher brain centers. What I just said, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, and the hippocampus, they all get stimulated to higher conscious realms, which allow you to tap in downloads to higher energy. It is important to realize that all involuntary and anatomic functions of the body have a reflex center which they may be influenced. Chinese acupuncture is based off this fact, a point that a finger can be stimulated that can cause an increased activity in the heart, for example. The same is true for the mechanism of thought control. The switch is located not in the mental facilities, but in the gut. Breath control. All right. It is obvious that the preceding material, that if you are restraining your out breath and the overall rate of breathing will slow down. And at this rate at which we breathe and control whether our thoughts are externalized or internalized. When we are concentrated on a thought, we automatically hold our breath. This is an instinctive act to withdraw the consciousness from the exterior plane to focus on the interior plane. In addition, it helps slow down the thought activity. A marksman, a golfman, a basketball player, or pitchers instinctively hold their breath as they concentrate on focusing on the mark. This is what I was just telling your son, Ms. V. Same thing. When we find it difficult to stay awake or get refreshed or walk about, to get lungs working more. So when we start to fall asleep, we want to get up and move to try to get the lungs awake. Normally, adults breathe in an average of 18 breaths per minute. When subject to a highly light activity, when subject to a very light activity or seated or rest. When we are concentrating heavily on a subject our rate of breathing automatically drops to 9 breaths per minute. This is in my book, Overstanding Darkness, when I'm talking about breath control and how that relates to your conscious states and our melanin, 9 ether. Now we have noticed that usually protracted concentration work readily runs into the state of sleepiness, meaning when we're drawing our breath in and slowing down our breath, we run into the realm of going to sleep. Why? Because it's in that realm of where we normally sleep, where we normally are unconscious. Our will is not active, but now we're doing it purposely. So we fall into that sleep realm. All right. This is due to the diminishing of the air. Now into a trance, the meditator lowers his breath from 7 breaths per minute to 6 to 4.5 to 3. Each rate tunes into a different level of consciousness. It is important to note that the book on the meditation that instructs the slower the breath you betray instructs to breathe slower. Betray that the author lacks mastery of the subject. So it ain't talking about necessarily just breathing slower. It's about how you're breathing and the amount of breathing that you're doing. Everything is in rhythm. You got to remember that. And the rhythm comes when your spirit automatically takes over your breath for you. So you ain't even doing it anymore. All right. All things vibrate, including the human body. Each thing vibrates at a specific key. The vibration mechanism of the human body is the breathing system. I'm going to say it again. All things vibrate, including the human spirit and body. Each thing vibrates to its own specific key. The vibrating mechanism of the human body is the breathing system. As you change your breath, you change your frequency, your wavelength, your thought pattern, what you see, how you see. All right. When we are seated in a rest, the spirit vibrates. We breathe at about 18 breaths per minute. Comparing the cycles of values of our respiratory and circulatory systems with the solar system yields some very revealing facts. Let us begin with the fact that there is a ratio of 1 to 4 between our breathing and the pulse rate. 18 breaths equals 72 pulses, 1 to 4. And the rate of the Earth's rotation at the time is 1 degree per every 4 minutes. A good meditation objective would to see if the 1 to 4 relationship between our breathing and pulsation rate was determined by the clocking mechanisms that the Earth's rotation on its axis. So now you're starting to break into the spiritual science. This is what they don't want you to know for the 33 and the third and the Masons and all them. They know the science. They don't want you to know how these things are important. And when you meditate and breathe on a certain rhythm, it changes everything. All right. The average rate of 18 breaths per minute equals 25,920 breaths per minute. Remember I was telling you about the precession of the equinox? The time it takes for our solar system to do a 1 complete revolution around Pleiades? Mm-hmm. Guess how long it takes? 25,920 years. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is the science and the truth. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Let me keep going. This figure of 25,009 corresponds to the number of years that it takes for the North Pole to trace a complete circle around the heavenly body in the precessional equinox movement. That's Pleiades. One whole complete movement. The significance of this relation was known for thousands of years, although its true meaning has been lost to the authors since the destruction of the Luxor Library. The knowledge of the harmonics of the breathing veiled in the Hindu allegory, sacred cycles of time. According to the Hindu allegory, man has not always behaved as he currently does. There was a time when man were honest and faithful, and during this first 4 ages of history, mankind is divided. It was the golden age of truth, the silver age, the bronze age, all the way down into, so basically it was us dematerializing from a high spiritual form. Slowly these meat bodies got more and more meat body-ish, and we left the spiritual altogether and became physical. Now what's happening is the direct opposite. All right, so let me go through. Okay, so In a rate of 1 degree of every 72 years, the number in the pulse in the minute of the way, there are 30 degrees in each zodiac sign. It takes 2,160 years to span the sign or one age. One zodiac sign is 2,160 years. Put one zodiac per sign. So there's 12 numbers on the clock. Each one would represent a zodiac time. Start at midnight, go all the way to 1 day. You go through all the way. That's the precession of the equinox. The time it takes for us to go from one is 25,920 years. Go ahead.
So the age of like is that revelation to the age, like the age of Pisces, the age of Aquarius, or?
Well, no, all of those would be under one of those ages. So the whole age may be going through
all of them.
The whole age may be going through all of the zodiacs.
Okay.
The whole 25,920 year period. Every last one of them.
Okay.
That's one age.
Because when you like, as far
so
as
when it all adds up, I actually in my book Cosmic Awareness. No, go ahead.
Oh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Oh,
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Because when you go like biblical terms, when they say the age of Pisces, that was like the age of Christ, you know, like when that's how they believe. So that was, I'm trying to get the timeline, you know, the revelations is that.
Yeah, but their timelines are all fucked up because you got to remember, they don't believe in time going backwards. Time went up, then it went down. So it went forward, then it went backward. Or a form of time that wasn't going in linear time. See, a lot of things was happening. A lot.
Okay.
So, getting into that, moving over. So, that was just a quick explanation of the breathing and how important it is to breathe. Once again, Meat Suit Manual, Metu Neter, a must-have, a must-read. Get it, read it as soon as possible before it's too late. I'm pretty sure since I'm showing it, the price is going to go up. Everything. I'm telling you. Okay, same with the Book of Knowledge. No, knowing can be achieved. So last we were at key 7. But before we go into that, Jazzy, any questions on breathing, breath control?
No.
No?
No, sir.
You can always go back, listen to it again, stop it. You know what I'm saying.
I do that
listen
tonight
to what I'm saying and apply it. Or, shit, you got the book, nigga. You can go read the book. You got the book.
Yeah. No excuse.
No.
Miss Visa, she got the book now too,
Ms.
right?
Visa, do you got the book too, Miss Visa?
No, I just got the online.
Okay.
Well,
you
it's on the
you don't have no excuse too.
But yes.
It reads it to you.
What'd you say, Ms. Visa?
I say online it'll read it to you, so I just.
Oh, yeah, that's all. However you get it. All right, so we are moving in to key 7. Remember, there's 64 keys. We are now on key 7. We went over the many into one. We went over how it's a huge universe. Am I right, Jazzy? The God has many mansions. Many. Okay?
Before you start,
go ahead.
Before you start that anime that I sent y'all.
I was watching that. I like that. There's another one on Netflix. What? The 3-body problem?
Yeah.
Bro,
I started watching it. I'm on like.
Bro, I started, then I stopped, then I kind of gave it a chance, and I was like, oh, it got deep quick.
I had to let it digest a little bit. I'm on the first season, but the second
episode. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Just on the second episode, like almost done with it.
What's the name of the anime? I didn't watch the clip.
The one that it's in our text group. You'll see it when we get
what is
off.
It? The Manual of the Sun.
It's called the I forgot the name.
Manual of the Sun.
Something of the Sun. I forgot.
Like what? I thought it said manual, something like that.
I can't go back now and look because I'm live, but it's something of the sun. But it's very good. It's very good.
I've seen about 10 minutes of it.
Yeah, I didn't get through it all. When I sent it to y'all, I had to stop and get prepared for the day. So, but I'm gonna finish it tonight at work. Go ahead.
Let's move on. So this key, seventh key of the 64, the key name given to enter the presence of the throne light, capital L light, conscious light, pyramid of the next universe is known as Metatron. So what we're about to hear is a lot of stuff, where they got it from and how it was manipulated. All right. Jazzy, when you hear something of how it's manipulated, please chime in. Ms. Visa, when you hear something from the Bible and how it was manipulated, please chime in. All right. So the key name is given. The key name is given into the presence of the throne. The light pyramid of the next universe is Metatron. So in the seventh key refers to Metatron, who receives us as we go through the Orion, the gates of Orion, from the Son's universe into the Father's universe of the Elohim creator. So it's showing us how we're moving from one conscious time zone to the next. All right. Orion, which is always right over my house all the time, it never moves, is the threshold star creation in conjunction with the Omega Orion in the region of star death. Both are aligned with the Father's throne, generating the star, the regent star of Momental. I'm not sure. All right, these star regions operate as a joint command control center, the gateway in which opens up the Sun's universe to the myriad populations of our greater Father's universe. The collective gateway of Orion permits the energy, matter, intelligence to go onto pure fields of energy. So it's showing how the physical realm, us in the physical realm, can move on beyond entropy, which we talked about last week. Beyond entropy, which is the decay of matter, into centropy, the electrification of matter. All right, what we do in our mind. Moreover, the Lords of Light, through the councils of nine, and coordinate and synchronize through the star fields of Orion and all the pyramids of our galaxies in the Sun's universe, use the program of the Eternal Father. So what they're saying is there are many different divisions within the House of Many Mansions. You got the Lords of Light, the Council of Nine, the energies and the Brotherhood of Orion, the Great Right Brotherhood. Okay, you have many different representations of entities. Why? Because that's why we did the first one, the many in the one and the many in the one universe. Meaning the Father, the creator of everything, cannot be seen because it's beyond all images, but all images represent the face of the Father. Boom. Let's keep going. All right. The kingdom of light is on this planet, does not have the pyramid light, save the pyramid vortex time warp, which connects pyramids of light in other worlds and in other dimensions through the pyramid control of the Lords of Light. To enter the master period of light, capital L, of our Father, the pyramid behind all central pyramids, is necessary to use the wavelength of Metatron, the Metatronic physics of light, to operate within you so that you can see the planetary fields of light, capital L, that exist within all higher orders of intelligence. So it's trying to say once we can activate ourselves to a higher level, we can start seeing the universe a little different from how other people see it. We can start to see these organizations, these entities, these higher realms of organized science. All right. So Metatron is the creator of the outer light, which penetrates regions of formlessness and void, allowing for the dawning of Yue Wabhe in the regions of outer space. I'm gonna say it again. Metatron is the creator of the outer light. What does the outer light mean? What does it penetrate? Regions of formlessness and darkness. All that is all that dark space out there. He represents the conscious light that goes into the darkness and starts the formation for things to start to happen as far as being physical. Metatron provides the light envelopes of thought forms of the Ancient of Days. So you got Metatron, you got the Ancient of Days. These are all different places in the Father's many mansions. Metatron provides the light envelope, the thought forms of the Ancient of Days. These in turn use the creator gods in newly evolved regions to create their own hierarchical patterns, which will eventually merge with these regions with the Father's house of many mansions. So the creator gods come way out here to this darkness and start creating in the Father's name, right? But remember, our code of light was intercepted in the Elohims or the creator guys thought to discuss themselves like, no, we're going to put them on our vibration, and their vibration has karmic penalties to it. Basically, it means karma, which means decay, entropy. But salvation is, hold on, we're not there, but I'm just giving it to you so you can start to understand, what are we talking about? How does this relate to us? All right. Jacob was taken into the appearance of the Father, and I knew that, and that the universe of all universes is his cosmic pyramidal throne. So everything is based off pyramids. Okay, that's the central theme. That central object is showing you how consciousness can move through the pyramid functions in the blood, in the consciousness, in the brain. All right. I knew that every galaxy was like a cornerstone of light, and within every galaxy there was a sun system with their pyramids, just like there's planetary systems with their pyramids. To go into the central control pyramid towards the throne of the Father requires the energies of a capstone, the Zohar body of light. That's the 5 other bodies that go along with this: the electromagnetic body, the epikinetic body. These are other bodies of light that flow over as we move through the system of physical existence. But to enter the actual presence of the Father's throne, it is necessary to call upon the sacred name of Metatron in relationship to the Christ Overself, the body, or the Christ Overself body. This is why they use Christ so much. Christ energy, Christ Overself body. These are all things that has nothing to do with the man Christ himself. Nothing. So when you're hearing this, I don't want you to get confused and think I'm talking about Christ. I am not. This is way above his pay grade. Okay? Way above his pay grade. So I don't want you to get it twisted. Metatron, these are all lords of light. I'll keep going. For Metatron is the pure radiation of all corporal forms that the Father can assume in the heavens of the throne, meaning corporal, meaning material, meaning bodies. You have to go through Metatron. That's who's set up to do this. Metatron gives the knowledge of the Father to all the star universes so that they can have the central core in the name of the Father. Metatron is star ionization, or O-ion, or Orion, knowledge to every star which is created so that it is unified with the core memory of the center of the galaxy. Metatron gives the knowledge of the Z, or the ion, the Zion, the projected light crystal consciousness, which the prophets call Zion. That's where you get Zion from. All right? This comes from a whole higher pay grade. They done cut it down and done said now Zion is a place. No, Zion is an energy form. It's a conscious, what is it? It is a projected light crystal consciousness from which the prophets call Zion. You see how you're starting to get clarity? How we can get clarity to what's really going on. But how many people are going to read a book like this? Let me keep going. Metatron gives you the capital L light consciousness to those who are working with the throne. They then become an active participants to prolongate the law of the living light, conscious light. Centropy, electrification of matter. Thus, it is written in the law to go back out of Zion from spiritual Israel. Spiritual Israel is the coordination of all races of man so that all mankind can be brought into salvation from the kingdom of flesh into the kingdoms of light. So our original programming was meant for everyone on the earth to make it where we at. Everyone to get to the next level. All right? Somehow that was messed up. Let's listen. Those kingdoms which do survive are kingdoms of the fallen. Those kingdoms which do not survive are the kingdoms of the fallen darkness. They do not have significant knowledge and light to pass into the central core. Their heart is heavier than a feather. I say it again. Those kingdoms which do not survive are kingdoms of the fallen darkness. They do not have significant light and knowledge to pass into the central core of the great universes where there exist evolutions of conscious communication. These entities must stay out on the outer edge of the galaxies and play out their chemical destruction. To permit them to go beyond would allow them to interfere and destroy other life on other regions. So they can't go nowhere because they're not perfected enough. For this reason, the councils of the Paradise Sons, here we go. Now we got the Paradise Sons and the Lords of Light. We got the Lords of Light. They take the many ascended masters into the center of the galaxy. So there's letting you know there's not just one master, not one Buddha, no Jesus, no Muhammad or Zenu. It's not one. There's many. But there's an energy that they go by. And what we want to do is tap into that energy. How do you tap into the energy? We use breath control. We study and learn what these stories mean, because we can use the same stories as symbols. Ooh, all right. For this reason, the councils of the Paradise Sons and the Lords of Light take many ascended masters into the center of the galaxy. From the center of the galaxy, the Lords of Light issue forth programs of redemption and resurrection to the physical orders to enable them to evolve from population 1 to population 2 star systems through the seed crystal pyramid of light. Who are on the other edge of population 1 light systems use the half-light function of light. We use the meta functions of light instead of the metatronic functions. Therefore, we can only work with common light wavelength to population 1 star worlds and not with the pluralistic radiations of multiple electromagnetic spectrum. Basically, they can only work off this light spectrum because we're in the realm of decay. But once we get back into the realm of centropy, electrification of matter, we work on multiple light systems at once. We're seeing different frequencies all at the same time. All right, hold on. The pyramid of light, the throne energy of light, gives the entrance of the throne controls to star evolution. The pyramid of light commissions the Lords of Light to build physical pyramids on lower planetary spheres to code within them the central keystone of knowledge to explain the metatronic physics that enables man, once he has brought all together all the spiritual languages and science gifts, to enter into the presence of the throne. So there it is. No more need to know who built the pyramids. It just told you. All right, the pyramids of the light commission, the pyramid of light commission who? The Lords of Light to do what? Build physical pyramids on lower planetary spheres to code them with the central keytones of knowledge to explain the metatronic physics to enable man to ascend to once again be brought together through all the spiritual languages and scientific gifts into the presence of the throne. So we was been supposed to put all this together. All right, through the capstone. But of course, we were bamboozled. We were snookered. All right, so let me keep going. The teaching of this function of the Ophium and the cherubim train the various galactic councils in the languages of the light. So here we go. Now we have the Ophium. This is a whole new part of the division here, and we have the cherubim, another part. So what does it say? The Zohar, its function of the Ophium and the cherubim to train the various galactic councils of light, languages of light, so that those councils can synchronize time cells of their administration with the right knowledge within the turning of the wheel of law. This turning of the wheel of law dispenses the proper knowledge for the soul. By speeding up the wheel of law, the material plane can reach a state of non-evolving perfection. It is the Father's will to grant freedom of the spirit and everlasting life to anyone who accepts his kingdom. Even the fallen angels that at the end of the cycle will be freed from the lower heavens if they accept the Father's love with a complete obedience to his word. So what is it saying? Everyone will have the choice. Either you're going to ride with the wicked or get down with the righteous. Everyone's going to have a choice to do what they want to do. All right. Now, what it does do, it goes on and it tries to tell you how many different factions, what am I saying? Spiritual agencies are involved. I'm just going to name a few. So through the scripture of Melchizedek, The scripture of Melchizedek, the brotherhood, tells us that there are many brotherhoods of the Ophium, messengers of Uwave working on interplanetary sciences and conscious evolution. And there are 70 brotherhoods of light working within our universe, all having within them the ability to understand any type of spiritual language or any type of spiritual knowledge, which is shown to them from higher light evolution. Why are they saying this? It's letting you know the God's house has many infinite realms, okay, of existences. Okay, the many mansions, infinite mansions. So these are all places you can get to go to work at. All right. Amongst the brotherhood of Melchizedek works the consciousness of awakening and reprogramming the light into the life cycle of the planet. That's the brotherhood of Melchizedek. The brotherhood order of Enoch works with the scientific teachings and the keys necessary to evolve starseed systems and to build planets and planetary grids of light upon the planet. All this is going on for us to move from planetary fields. All right, that was the order of Michael, protects the various universes through the Midway Ophium so that intelligence do not randomly transplant and genetically re-engineer species serving constant law. That's why you ain't got to worry about nobody coming down here and taking over the planet. Can't happen. All right, that's through the order of Michael. He protects each planet to have their own growth, so another intelligence just can't come in with higher evolution and just destroy us. They can trick us to destroy ourselves, but they can't directly come down and do anything. They're not permitted. Let me keep going. If we are not for the Ricadem, who govern the chariots of the celestial right, then you got the Quadium, who judge the dimensions of higher intelligence from within the order of Michael. There would be massive invasions of fallen angels and intelligence onto other planetary worlds, turning species on other planets into subspecies and slave kingdoms. It is the order of Michael who can fairly administrate justice, since it governs all administrative records, activities within all levels of all universes.
Oh, that's
all
deep.
This going on. Say it again, Dad.
That's deep.
Ain't that shit deep?
Hey, yo, that's I remember the name now is Laws of the Sun, and they talk about stuff like that.
Yes, that's why I thought
anime.
it was very important.
Laws of the Sun, and I was just watching,
showing how open and big the universe is and how many entities, and that's what we're doing right now in this chapter.
How look at how that lines up
perfectly. So, but what it's trying to let you know, how, look, you can serve with the order of Enoch, brotherhood of Melchizedek, the order of Michael. These are all lords of light, grand lords of light. Like they would say, Lucifer, perfect, that would be them. All right. So,
yes, sir.
Yet at the end of this grand cycle of time, the Father permits those fallen orders of intelligence, some which are in grotesque physical creation, to suddenly reappear upon the planetary sphere like Earth, to tempt man like Satan tempted Jesus. This is the last temptation that mankind is collectively being put through, to see whether he will serve the lesser space gods, the Elohim, our sons and daughters, or share the love of the galactic hierarchy to glory of the Father. Thus, the three brotherhoods of Michael, Enoch, and Melchizedek govern the 70 brotherhoods of the universe by dispatching millions of emissaries of light to repair and evolve lower worlds. All that for us. Everything that's going on right now is for us to achieve a higher level. Everything is supposed to be a perfect plan. But as you get further away from the center of the universe, the solar system, the galaxy, the plan gets fucked up. You have choice, and sometimes you choose to do what you want to do, even though the Father's plan is perfect. But it's showing there's a redemption for people, because they know people are going to fail down here. Look at the love of the Father. He knows you're going to fail and already has a plan for your failure. Think about it. I can't make this shit up, Gansy. I cannot make this shit up. I can only show you. So now you know why motherfuckers calling me crazy, bro. This is what I knew. Those who are chosen from the lower worlds to be new leaders are removed from their planets by the Brotherhood and given a thorough teaching of the higher heavens by the members of the High Command. Those who have previously descended from the higher heavens to work in the lower worlds are taken by Metatron into the presence of the Father's throne. So you have us that are ascending, that we have done the job. We'll be removed from this physical meat suit, put in a proper body of light, where we will be explained the workings of the universe. We are ascending upwards. Now, those that descended down from the heavens on the earth to help to do the work in the lower worlds will be taken up by Metatron into the Father of the presence, to the Father's throne. These leaders also include the masters who have evolved their soul according to the Father's divine emulations and out of a span of newborn soul existence. Many have not descended from spiritual existence into physical form as the ascended masters. Therefore, they can only be worked with the solar energy planes of planetary populations within the worlds of the solar logos. Many. Some of us, realm people on this earth are from here. They're from Earth. They've been given a chance of evolution and reincarnation, but their solar program is rooted here. Some of us are from up there. We volunteered to come down here, or we came down here to be better, but we're not from here. Does that make sense?
But not of it.
It's trying. We're in the world, but not of it. But some of us are in this world, but there's a plan of redemption for them. No one is left out. This is the great plan. The plan I be telling you when we first started talking. Your father got a plan, bro. His plan is perfect. Remember I used to tell you that all the time? This is the goddamn plan. Now you're starting to know the plan of what I've been talking about. Let me keep going. Enoch stressed to me that each planetary cycle, there are few masters who qualify on all levels to be taken up to the divine presence during each planetary cycle. That's your procession of the equinox. A planetary cycle could be 25,920 years. See how everything's coming round and round, Jazzy? All right. Currently, Enoch told me that there will be many false spiritualisms, false astronomies, false astronomies, false astrologies arising at the end of the air to confusing even the ascended masters and the masters who together serve the Father.
See, that's the problem now. That's the problem. That's the problem now. It's so many. You go on.
So much going on.
I mean, they got books out. I mean, you could be listening to something on YouTube. It's just like it's so many things, and like they say, agents. So you got people that's going ahead and that's working for the good, but then you also got that many that's working to go ahead and confuse you too. So it's just like you got to be divinely sparked inside to go ahead and know the truth.
Say it again. Facts.
You got to have the
inner truth.
You have to.
That's the only thing you can go by. And if you ain't got that inner truth in you, then I'm gonna be real. You lost. Because there ain't nothing else. No one. Because you're not gonna get that from outside of here. Let me keep going.
Go ahead.
He taught that there would be many false Christs who, in the name of the masters from the old hierarchies and planetary councils, would lead many of the children of God away from the service of the Father. So they're still going by the logo of the lion while we done moved into the lamb. Or they're still in Pisces and we done moved in Aries. You see what I'm saying? But they're holding on. They don't want to give up their power. They don't want to give up what they got.
Change.
Those who are called as ascended masters who have originally descended from the higher order serving the higher hierarchy, the heavenly hierarchies, to teach in the lower heavens. The ascended masters generally number 144,000 for the given complete progression of one star cycle in the lower heavens. There goes your 144,000 again. It's dealing with time, not necessarily people. You know. But it's showing how these higher principles get broken down into bullshit. Because you don't really know.
That was like a long time ago when they used to come. I haven't seen them like really knocking on my door late. You know what I'm saying? They used to be out fluently. And then that was one of the things that they used to say. It was like, 144,000. I was like, well,
144,000 are chosen. Da, 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 da. Once again, they don't understand the Father's love. The Father's love and his plan is so encompassing. The Father wants to save every last thing down here. Why? He's of every last thing. Every thought you do, that's part of the Father. Mm-hmm. Every emotion you feel, the Father feels it.
It's
and
a million.
Still gives you, or it still gives you free will to reject.
My thing would be is that there's over millions of people that have died in that faith and that belief system, and it's way over 144,000. There's 144,000 that's alive today that's living and believing in that. So how can you make that into people? I mean, at the end of the day, it's got to make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, just like they made the Christ energy, the Christ body into a Christ person. Same thing. And they running with it. Now you know why the word Christ holds so much power. Because they're talking about a spiritual energy, and it was already there. Hundreds of thousands of years is already there. And they done turned it into a person. You see what I'm saying?
Then eat it. And then eat the skin and drink the blood at Easter for the whole ritual to be complete. That's the point of turning it into the body.
Boom.
Crazy.
That's cannibalism.
Boom. Drink my blood, eat my flesh.
Yeah.
But see, what it's showing you is how they've taken something divine and butchered it, cannibalized it. Now you drinking wine and eating bread to symbolize the blood in his flesh. What father would want you to eat their flesh or drink their blood? What father? Did I? Go ahead, Ms. Visa.
I said it was time. I didn't say anything, but you heard me. I was saying. So I was saying though, it's the ritual is now they took it and made it physical. So how can they get back to the spiritual if they're not nine ether? So they had to come up with a way to try to get that spirit back to essence by eating the flesh and the blood. Yeah.
Right. They thought that they was gonna get it through eating them, and really that's a barbaric way of thinking.
That's what I said. It's cannibalism.
Because they thought everything was in the blood. That's why they used to eat our pineal glands back in the day. They used to actually eat us, take our melanin. What did you think melanoma was when it first came out? That was crushed pineal glands.
And now they're doing it with the baby sac. You know what I'm saying? And the foreskin.
Yeah.
And the foreskin off the penis when the baby's ate.
That's old. Yeah, they've been doing that.
No, but I'm just saying it's just.
All right, so let me keep going. Because we on it right now. The manner in which the physical bodies are chosen to house the ascended master depends on their previous work in earlier biological cycles. Here's you go. This is why you have reincarnation. When you reincarnate, let's say 1,000 times, 100,000 times, 1,000,000 times, you gonna be who you gonna be. You understand what I'm saying? You lived enough to know boom, 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 boom. Or if you came down from a higher realm into physical bodies, and you've been down here.
What about, like we talked about last week, about coming here for the first time?
Yeah, that's when you were born down here and you're ascending upward. This is your first station. Because remember, some of us, when they say fall, we came down here to help. But you already have some that were down here. Some of us, that's when they say we forgot who we were. We didn't know, we fell asleep. But it's all part of the progression for us to wake back up to who we are and what we are. And that's everyone. See, we're all being bamboozled. If we all knew this, we'd be on a totally different thought process. We wouldn't be worried about who got more money, who got more cars. We'll be worried about how we get into the next level. How we gonna move to the next planetary station?
That's what I was saying.
The new energy.
That's what I was saying last week about the cartoon with, I think it was Ants, where it showed that everybody here is workers. You're all workers. You know what I'm saying? But we in the mind that we thinking like, oh, I got this, I got that. You're all workers. Everybody's here a worker. Everybody. And it showed you in the movie. I mean, them cartoons be showing you the truth.
Well, remember, that's why they're good. They're only good because they're representing truth. You can give truth in a cartoon that you can't give in a movie.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because anime can express the imagination a little more than movies can, of course.
Billy Carson, not trying to, I want to get back on track. Billy Carson he's somebody that always keeps saying, he said, let everybody call in to work on Monday. He said, go and withdraw all your money from the bank.
Uh-huh. See what happens.
See what happened.
See what happens. Everything will change. And it only take a small little thing like that. All right, let's keep going. Miss Visa, you got anything?
No, I don't.
All right, here we go. Now we're about to explain what is going on. In the eons before this present cycle, some of the fallen paradise sons did not use the name of the Father to balance their celestial equation. All right? I mean, their celestial creation. But you should think equation. Father's equations, math, perfect. They didn't use the Father's perfect math. They wanted to use their own. And they could. They have the prerogative to. But let me keep going. For this reason, certain celestial creations were placed out of sync in relationship with the divine vibrations of the Father's name. Our world was originally commissioned in the Father's name, but was intercepted by the fallen masters who applied their law of vibration, their mathematics, their frequencies to this creation. Because of this, the original inhabitants of Earth Station violated the laws of applying of higher physics of cosmic law, and the Lords of Light confused the men in such a way, in a manner that to this day they cannot apply the keys of the Eastern vibration of light with the Western vibration of light. Uh-oh, did you hear what I said? Y'all ain't hear me. I'm going to say it one more time, then I'm going to tell you. What does it remind you of? Because of the original inhabitant of this Earth Station violated the laws applying the higher physics of cosmic law, the Lords of Light confused the languages of man in such a manner that man was
Tower of Babel.
To this day, Tower of Babel. Boom. Facts. That's where you get it from. Tower of Babel, right? Confuse the language so man cannot apply the keys of the Eastern vibration, the star, the pyramid, with the vibration of the Western vibration of light. The Eastern vibration of light, the pyramid of light, the inversion of the West. They form the Star of David. Higher evolution connects with lower evolution. All right? Same thing that happens inside of us. The pineal gland, pituitary gland, the hippocampus gland get activated. At the 12 cranial lens, they shoot a shot all the way down to the root chakra, the gonads. They release that kundalini energy, shoots all the way back up. That's your pyramid on top, activating the pyramid on the bottom, and they become one. Star of David. Energy of spirit. However, man will have the ability to once again assimilate the physics of cosmic law and understand the power of Metatron's light, capital L, which governs the outer redemptive cycle of the Father's love expressed through the Christ energy. This will be done through the issuing of new teachings, which will break the sacred seals on the old scrolls, bringing man into a new age. This is why the book of knowledge has been given. All right, it's telling you this is why the book of knowledge is even out here, so that you will know. And as we read and we open up ourselves to it, we start to break the old cosmologies down. All right, these scrolls are written within light pulsations. That's what those fire letters are. That's what they like to call the fire letters. Light Light pulsations, which gather the conscious spark of the old spiral of spiritual energy, which is then fused with the new spiral of the Christ energy connected with the light of Metatron, serving the outer worlds until the light is perfected within the internal light. The new creation will be formed out of the higher physics of light, which is superior to the physics of destruction brought on by the fallen masters, who have been cast down to previous cycles to lower heavens. There they will be bound to the magnetic sphere, to the lower illuminaries, meaning they won't be able to rise back up. They won't be able to go back the way they can. They'll be bound down here, but they'll know that they're bound, but bound nonetheless. And the kingdom And the human kingdom began to use the fallen power of physics of light. That's your atomic bomb, nuclear energy, all this fallen energy that has decay, that has that leaves radiation, that kills things. That's fallen light, cold energy. That's not our shit. Don't get it twisted. Remember, we work off of centropy, the electrification of matter, making it better. No side effects. All right. The fallen power of physics of light, which was in violation of the greater harmonics and balances. This knowledge was put into confusion, lest man destroy himself and other kingdoms. You got to remember, this kingdom is a part of a layer. We're just one kingdom. We got two right on the other sides of it. We mess us up, we mess them up. Everything is one thing. Everything is fabric together.
They show it in all the movies. They show it in all the movies, like the 100.
The multi-board. Yep, all of it.
The 100, where after the after so many years, the Earth, it was decayed, and then the radiation, and what the sad thing is that's like biblical too, where they say that man would destroy himself in the end, and it's the same thing. It's all of them are saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
What they're not saying, what the book is telling you, that they just said they done stopped man many times from destroying himself. They're not going to permit him to do it. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about when I say safety, security. Nigga, you cannot be touched. Your energy is too powerful when you know it. All right, let me keep going. The key then explains how one can use the physics of the master pyramid of light through balancing power of Metatron, the spiritual scientific consciousness of light. The spiritual power is not significant to enter into the presence of the Almighty. For the presence of the Almighty cannot be approached through spiritual dimension without the responsibility to serve the Father's universes by co-participating in creations of new earths. Are you listening? Everything we doing is part of our all journey. Everything is just one part, one stop of a bigger journey that we on. Can't make this up, Jazzy. But I'll say it again. For the presence of the Almighty cannot be approached through this spiritual dimension without the responsibility to what? To serve. Why serve? Serve the Father's universes by being co-participating in creations of new world. So once we come off this world and we now know, now we go help other worlds to know. Back to what? The perfect physical creation that the Father showed the creator gods that left. To come out here to create. You go out and create like you see what I got right here. Man, I'm telling you, bro. Urantia book, all in that book.
It's just the thing is,
all of this what I'm telling you now.
The issue is that people get too caught up in things. You know what I'm saying? And that's what go ahead and even though things right. Are used.
You're right. We should be caught up in trying to elevate. This is why the masters wanted to elevate their mind, their spirit, activate their soul to the highest level, because they realize what's going on. Oh, this just depends on what I do and how I do it.
So, Mental, I got a question. That I wanted to ask. Okay,
go ahead.
So you were saying that man has tried to end himself, but he wasn't able to because I don't get it.
Because of the higher orders of Michael, of the higher orders of Enoch, these higher spiritual masters of light came down. The first time, what did they do? They stopped them from learning about the spiritual science. So they confused the language, what they say to Tyre of Babel. So they stopped them from getting insight into spiritual science. But then they had to do it again because they started messing with nuclear science, and they had to show them, but they stopped them from destroying anything. A lot of the tests you see never happened. That's all film.
So would you say, and this is a question directed to you, so would you say would you say humanity is suicidal?
Only if they're going to Right. Once you're not operating off the Father's plan. If we were on the Father's plan, we'd be good. We wouldn't be dealing with what we're dealing with. But the reason why these zones, these cancer zones, these fallen desolations of light, where human and spiritual entities, high spiritual entities and low physical spiritual demons and damians and blood, so all of us exist, is because it gives the best chance for us who are righteous to get the most reward. I mean, places like this, remember, we're in the last cycle of a 25,900 year plan. There's only so many earth beings can be on this cycle at this time. The next one's got to wait for the next cycle.
You know, the thing is, too, it's kind of like when you watch different, like I said, the movies give you a brief thing, like the movie C, the series C, where the end of the cycle happened there was that everybody went blind. They had to start all the way over from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's always something that, like what you said, where
some of them started being born, being able to see.
You see, right.
And they tried to kill them quick.
Yeah, because they wanted everybody to be on it. Yeah.
Same level.
Like you a seer. Yeah. It's the same thing. It's just showing you in different aspects of how things happen along the way, that every single time man tried to get here, then something came down and then made it.
If that
was to happen right now.
No, if you're trying to go somewhere without the love of the Father, you cannot. Everything evolves on the love of the Father. Everything. And the love of the Father, the plan of the love of the Father has a redemption, a resurrection, a healing energy for all its creations, all of us. If you choose it, because you do have free will to choose. No, I'm good.
But it could be something as far as like everybody went deaf, and then it would be the same thing. You'll be seeing people, but you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand.
But let me keep going. So, for the presence of the Almighty cannot be approached through the spiritual dimension without the responsibility to serve the Father's universe by co-participating in creations of new earths. For the love of the Father cannot be seen without elongating the Father's light into regions of darkness. That's that dark space. That's where you get universes, solar systems, galaxies. That's creator sons creating all this stuff for the physical creation to be inhabited. All right. Enoch, with the guidance of Metatron, created the wheels of science that brings the lower phases of human life systems into and out of kinetic knowledge of multiple adaptations of divine truth. Man is given the responsibility to destroy himself in darkness or to accept the higher law of light. Capital L. They call it, it's on here, it's the Torah or. Man who accepts the higher law of light, capital L, will go on into the many orders of the hierarchies. These orders are called the Council of Nine, the Ism, the Melchium, the Order of Kingship, the Benea, the Elohim, the Order of the Elohim, the Order of the Infirma, all the way up to the highest orders where one functions as a non-evolving pure thought form. This pure thought form that can enter any kingdom of matter energy. But when man was cut off from the hierarchies, the sciences of the earth were likewise cut off from the master blueprint, dividing the language of light and gravitational waves from vibratory channels of man. Thus, the spiritualists or the faithfulists began to use the meta science or the half-life function of Metatron. When they go to the meta science or the half-life function, they're talking about powers of decay, atomic energy, nuclear energy, anything that's going to have decay, fallout, and killing. That's them. And it's also destructive for the environment, and you can kill everybody with it. If we were able to take the knowledge of the Egyptian doctrines of light, fuse them together with the pulsating geometries of the thought forms with a given color, placing them together with the right vibration of consciousness, then the experience of going to into other worlds through pyramids is revealed. Man must realize that he's delivered from material form and saved only through the Christ energy in connection with synchronized with Metatron, ones who serve the Father rather than the rebellious lords of light who have taken the names of the divinities and discussed themselves as gods. So they're even saying the lords of light has taken the names of the divinities above them and transformed their energy so they can create in their name and not in the Father's name. So the rebellious lords of light who have taken the names of the divinities and discussed themselves as God. These are the fallen lords who cannot call upon the name of the Father. Therefore, they share no part in the Father and no part in his garment of light, the vibration of the Z energy. So therefore, this scroll has been prepared to open the hidden pyramids within the earth and within man, and Adam upon the earth becomes the Adam Cadman in the heavens, and the earth in place of the meta creation, and becomes one with Metatron. So one with the divine again. Back to ourselves, back to our entities. Y'all with me? Visa, Jazzy, you with me?
I'm with you. I'm just listening because I'm here.
So did that kind of break down what's going on? How planets like this, ours, get out of line of the Father's program? So it's just showing you telling you everything you need to know.
I'm with you, bro. I'm listening.
All right, so real quick, we're going to go through one more. This is a short one. Whoa, it's not that short. But for this one, this is key 8. We're going to go a quick 10 minutes on key 8, and we're going to finish it next time. We're just going to touch over some things. So now that we realize the fallen lords of light, we realize the organization, the creator lords, the Elohims, all can create light on these outer rims of the galaxies and the universes and the solar systems for us. And every now and then, some of these dark realms get rebellious, these lords of light creators, and do things their way, not the Father's way. All right, so the key, now it's going to show you how the pyramid sphinx, the key to the pyramid sphinx in the middle of Earth is a higher frequency solar vehicle, given in the symbol of the lion sun in the symbolic structure of space-time pyramid, which gives all levels of evolution in our time, in our zone of mathematical, astronomical keys of the surrounding the higher heavens. So that was a lot. What is it saying? It's saying the vehicle of the pyramid sphinx has been placed in the middle of the earth as a living model of man's destiny to indwell in a higher evolutionary body once he can center his solar and magnetic energies in the alignment of the pyramid. He's talking about in the pyramid of the earth, once we get back into geometrical pyramidal sciences, and in ourselves, the conscious pyramid within us. The Sphinx symbolizes our body of space-time within the lion solar evolution that must be conquered by man before he can wear the face of brilliance and indwell the presence of the Father of the architects of light. Basically, leaving behind that this solar paragram, this solar projection, this solar living, the living of decay. All right, we're moving past the lion, which was the sun. The physical sun. All right. To teach man, masters of light need only to project their face through the solar evolution, since they have evolved into whole light bodies capable of using thought form technology to interpenetrate our solar spectrum with their light power. This allows them to teach the dust creations to evolve beyond evolutionary face of their sun, meaning just the physical body, but become the sons of God. Sons, capital S-O-U-N. First is the evolutionary face of the sun, S-U-N, and become the sons, capital S-O-S-O-N, of God. All right, so it's showing you that we're going beyond it. We're going beyond a solar evolution. All right, the vehicle of the pyramid sits on the threshold between 0-point evolution and higher light technology as the stepping stone of other conscious sun systems beyond the limitations of our solar light zone. The pyramid sphinx symbolizes how the mind of higher evolution must center itself on the solar evolution in order to educate man to use the magnetic lines of force and to build conscious pyramids, which are the keys to opening up the threshold necessary to leave behind this conscious time zone. All right. Man has opened the pyramid sphinx with higher consciousness of light and connect with the energy entrances of the pyramid and the sphinx with each other, and will understand that he has completed this phase of life and is prepared for the energy vehicles of the brotherhood to return him and take him to the next evolutionary station. Once again, this is just one of many things, one of many journeys that may have lasted you. I don't know. It could have lasted 30,000, 50,000 years, but it's just one of the many on the infinite and eternal as you move back through the universes. Does this make sense, Jazzy Fizzle, Miss Visa?
It does. It does.
It opens you up. So now you don't even have to care about what's going on the physical. Think about it. What looks good, feels good, tastes good, sounds good, smells good, ain't got shit on this. Moving to whole nother realms of consciousness and understanding.
Got me. I'm listening. You blowing me away. So,
all right, the Great Pyramid on the Earth is in reality in conjunction with the pyramidal energy fields under the Earth, which together form a diamond. Here we go. One pyramid, form a diamond. From this central focal point, there is a network of magnetic resonance which connects all planetary energy fields around the Earth in relationship to the icosahedron. The icosahedron grid is the monolithic structure of the interlocking tetrahedrons to tetrahedrons. I'm not saying it right. And the octahedrons, which give the true harmonic reciprocals of the light acting on all points of the grids. Basically, those are your geometric figures that are connected. The true science of magnetic astronomy is to align the Great Pyramid with the constellation of Orion. Now, we knew this, but why? So that the form of the eye focal point, to retrieve the information from all points of this grid. Thus, the Great Pyramid is a model for light continuum of the many universes connected with our Earth. With this relationship in mind, we envision how the Earth's planetary unique star shafts connects with the Earth on a monumental scale, and the message of God is an imperishable of the gods, imperishableness stars. Imperishable stars. So basically, it's trying to show you how higher evolution, things are functioning, things are happening. All right, we're not going to go too far in it now. We're just going to talk real quick. Jazzy Fizzle.
I'm here, bro.
So I don't want to get too deep. We get so deep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
so what do you the grand universe, the Father's plan?
You breaking up, bro. Can you hear me? Mental. You breaking up.
They be hating. They be trying to hate on us, Jazzy. I had to sing They Be Hating and you came back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, hey, I got a lot out of today. I mean, a whole lot. You know, I was just gonna tell you that, like, I was doing two things at once, so that's why I had to block off because I got a meeting that I got to go to in like 10 minutes for an event. But
right,
man, let me tell you, it was an eye opener, especially the parts where you can correlate them to where you're saying as far as like the inner you, and then also with the Tower of Babel. And how all of the things, you know, each time, each level that man has gotten besides, you know, and then spirit stepped in.
Man, because they were following higher evolution. You know, he that disgusted themselves. The guy say, "No, follow me." That'd be the one in the Bible that said, "I don't want no God other than me."
Right.
The Elohim. That what he was said to Adam, because he knew there was other gods.
Right.
So, hey, look, not knowing is everything, bro. If you heard it once, it's in you. So you got it when you need to pull it up again. Miss Visa.
Yes.
Oh, we're getting to the end, dear. Is there anything you want to say?
No. I'm gonna pay attention to this road.
Well, thank you, dear. Next week we'll probably have more of a question answer. We should start going down and trying to break down what we've learned. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
How it affects us. What do you think?
That'll work.
That'll work. And I know you busy, dear. Thank you for tuning in. I know you had the kids. Thank them for listening too. I hope they got something out of it. Jazzy, thank you, bro, for coming on. Peace and love to everybody. I'm just trying to spread this truth so we have a better understanding of who we are, what we are, why we are. Understanding, baby. Peace.